I'd like to call to order the August 20th, 2025 meeting of the Public Works Advisory Committee. Can I get a roll call, Julie?
Kevin Watlett.
Present.
Mary Lallo.
Present.
Bill Fath.
Present.
George Robin.
Present.
Scott Peterson.
Present.
Pam Hobbs.
Excused.
Dave Nolan.
Arkin present when he shows up.
Greg Lammert.
Present.
Chad Dagley. James Myers.
Excused.
Wendy Prakop.
Here.
All right. Do the Pledge of Allegiance. Bill, you want to lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, everybody, we have an agenda in front of us for tonight. Anybody see anything they want moved around? There's not a lot to move around. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Second by, all right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now we're on to approval of the minutes from the July 16th meeting. I did watch it and look through the minutes. I don't see anything that needs to be changed. Can I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion, approve.
All right, can I second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Citizen comments? Do we have any citizen comments tonight? I don't see any citizens to comment. Move on to new business. We're going to do a water and sewer quarterly project update, and I believe Sean has given us the presentation. Talking to us.
What's that?
Or talking to us, whatever.
Good evening, committee. Sean Singer, the engineering manager for the water sewer division here. So just going to go through some more project updates here for you tonight and show you what we've been working on and get our presentation up here. So exciting things going on out in the water sewer world right now with a lot of projects going on, moving pieces, multiple projects going on at times. So here's our water division. We got to look at a list of projects going on currently at the treatment plant, construction and design, and then also the distribution system construction design projects. Two projects right now in construction at the water plant. We got a new alluvial well going in. We'll get into some pictures and some other slides here further. We got an RO and general plant improvement project that's just kicking off or just getting rolling. We're just getting ready to get into design on our a new pre-oxidation improvement project for the front end of that plant. So that one's coming in the door pretty quick to get started on design. So on the distribution side, we just bid out a well station number 3 and 4 chemical feed improvement project that's getting ready to start construction. It goes to council next week for approval. And then in design, we got a Brookside Forest water main extension. So we'll jump through some of these projects, water side first, and we'll touch on the sewer ones after those. So, so here's our new alluvial well project going in right now. This one's, I'll say, about 80 to 90% done. They got last few months here. They got the electric hooked up to the new well house. They got most of the raw water main in, tying into the existing raw water main that feeds the plant, and just got some testing to do on that before we can get it up and running and backfilled. Then we did receive some damaged electrical equipment that was shipped loose in a crate that we had to send back. So there's a little bit of a delay on getting replacement parts for some of the electrical drive for the new pump motor. But other than that, it's pretty well just lacking finishing up now. So should start to come together pretty quick here, and then we'll do startup. We're shooting for probably mid-September, I think, right now for it as well. So kind of unfortunate. It's probably right when the demand starts to drop off for the water into town, but it can't time it sometimes that well. So, but that's that project. Like I said, it's pretty well close to wrapping up. This one is just the opposite, and it's just getting started. We issued notice to proceed back in June on this one. Contractor, it's one of the, let's see, it'll be, other than the public works facility, which is around 30 million, I want to say, this one's about a $10 million project, so it's probably one of the next largest ones for water sewer. And this one right now is just going through a lot of submittals with the contractor, getting submittals approved, getting the ball rolling on paperwork. They have started doing some of the selective demolition inside the plant that they can go ahead and jump on. Here's a picture of them setting up some scaffolding to demo what we call our backwash water pump that comes out of this project. So just one of the few pictures I had that I could throw in here, but they've demoed some equipment out of our fluoride room that's no longer in use. So we're going to use that for some storage area that we can move some material to while they get into where this picture was taken, the high service pump room, where they can start putting some new VFDs on the wall of that room. So just kind of getting the ball rolling. Contractors set up. They're kind of slowly diving in, getting their plan set up. One of the other upgrades that they'll be starting on next week is replacing the fencing around the site. We've got some old white vinyl fencing that's, the wind blows just a little breeze and their panels are popping out of it. It's not a very secure fence for a water plant, so we're doing the chain link with the barbed wire at the top. You know, it's a more secure fence. A new electric gate, because the gate right now is, well, it quit on us last week, so we just said don't even worry about spending money to fix it because it's getting replaced with this project. So we're using the gate manually right now, but the fencing is, when we had that hailstorm a year or so ago, it took a beating on it, so it's kind of been patched back together a few times and just needs to be replaced. So that's one of the nice things that we'll get with this plant project is it'll replace all that fence, get a nice secure site, because we have operators there overnight, you know, by themselves, and we don't want anything to happen. So pre-oxidation project, this one's just getting started on design. We just worked through scope and fee and kind of a scoping meeting with the consultant Burns McDonald on that. So they did a study previously to look at the pre-oxidation system and the filter analysis a couple years ago. So this is kind of the next step to that process to get them actually go in and do the detailed design of those improvements. So again, we're just getting ready to get them under contract to start that design work here probably in the next week or two. So this one, again, just bid out, goes to council next week for approval. This is the well 3 and 4 chemical feed improvements. So this is, well 3 is the water tower here on Main Street by McDonald's. Well 4 is the one over by Child's Tire there, just off the outer road. And those chemical feed upgrades will convert these disinfection to chloramine system, so it matches our water plant water. It'll match any water we buy from District 2 or Missouri American Water. So helps alleviate some taste and odor complaints we get when we get some of that mixing with what we currently have as a free chlorine system. So this will help match that other water in our system and provide a more consistent feed. So plus it also, the other big benefit is it's a kind of a safety improvement. We have chlorine gas cylinders at those 2 sites right now. Again, one's right next to McDonald's, one's right next to daycare and a house, and both residential. So that'll help. We did have a leak on one of the cylinders we got from the vendor that we had to call the fire department out a year ago, I think it was, to contain that leak and, you know, cylinder and get it off site. So, but yeah, just not safe having, you know, that potential leak hazard out there. So this will get rid of those chlorine gas cylinders as well as a perk to that. So, and in design on the distribution side is the Brookside Forest Water Main. We just actually went through had a meeting last week on this to look at 3 different alternative alignments. So this one's just kind of in the early stages of design as well. So they've looked at 3 different alternatives. This is just one of them that they looked at. This will connect Progress West, kind of by the Environmental Services trash receiving station over there, across over to the Prue Creek over to Brookside Forest Subdivision, to provide a redundant feed for that area, because right now there's a main just to the north of here that's the only kind of feed for that area. So if we, you know, would happen to have a fault on that main, it would, you know, put a pretty good hurt on that area of town not having a backup supply. So, and any questions on the water side? Do we want to just go through them all, or I can stop for questions there if you want to know this time? All right,
Just go through them all, then we'll
what's that?
go through them all.
Go through them all and catch up. I got a question slide at the end anyway. So, all right, sewer side, we've got a little more activity over there. 2 projects in construction right now at the treatment plant. 4 in design. Got 2 in, well, 1 and one's just getting ready to bid out here, so I put it in the construction. Bids should be coming in, I think, any day now. So, so I put it in the construction side since the design is pretty well done, and then the 3 in design on the collection system side. So, first one is the biggest one, I guess, right now going on the sewer side. This is about a $7-8 million project. This is our solids handling improvement project. Mainly, it's the biggest piece of this is our new headworks building, or they call it the influent screening building. So it's a new fine screen system for the wastewater plant. So right now we currently have just a 1/4-inch bar screen at the front of the plant. So when our force mains come in, the flow first treatment it sees is that bar screen. So this will reroute that flow to this new building. It'll have the same thing, a 1/4-inch bar screen, followed by a perforated plate 3mm fine screen. So it's just a future protection device basically for all future downstream processes, because we've built this new nice BNR tank system that's got a bunch of aeration diffusers in there. We've got future plans for the biosolids process to look at, centrifuges for that process. So it's just it's kind of one step early in the process to plan for the rest of the treatment as well. So, but it's moving right along. It should be done in the next few months here. They got the building pretty well up. They went in, there's multiple pieces of this project. They got the main piece of that new screen building. We went in and rehabbed our blend tank, which is one of our sludge tanks out there. It's the picture on the left. You can see all new aeration diffusers in there. They put a whole new coating system on in the concrete walls there. The middle picture is a picture of actually the new screens in the building. Kind of hard to see, it's a little small picture, but kind of one that shows what the screens look like. They kind of sit over in a channel, and the screen part comes up above the channel. That's where it'll actually dump the waste, and then it goes to a washer compactor system and then out to a dumpster for hauling off. So, and then the picture on the right there is our new influent flow meter valve vault, and then you can see the force mains kind of behind it, the green piping in the ground. That's the 3 new force mains that they had to reroute over to that building. So that was a pretty big task to reroute those force mains over. That just wrapped up this last week. We got them all pressure tested out. They're getting ready to pour the lid on top of that valve vault. They'll be digging the 36-inch line going from the building up to the existing grit chamber. Excuse me. Starting next week. But still a lot of activity going on, but it's starting to hit that downhill run, to start finishing things up. So electric's all on, hooked up to the new building. So just starting to prep for the finishing touches. Startup is scheduled for the aeration, I think, early September for the blend tank, and then the screen vendor, I think, is scheduling startup around October, I want to say, early October. So they are a little behind schedule, but we're working with them on that to get it wrapped up. So as long as they keep moving, making good progress. Grit system improvements, don't have really any good pictures of this yet. This one just it got started early June or mid-June, but it's working through this middle phase 2 right now. Plus, there's pretty good lead time on the equipment, so I think that's the main piece, is getting that equipment on order, and then there's not really a whole lot to do until the equipment's there, because we're still using that grit system right now, the current one. But this will add a new, what they call stack tray style system. You can kind of see on both of these pictures, it's kind of like a stack tray profile there that creates the velocity to settle that grit out, but not settle too much material out to where you're starving your biologics for food later on. So, and then on the picture on the right, the little thing on the left, that's the grit classifier dewater system. So we get a new one of those in our grit building. That'll dewater and wash and press the grit and put it in a dumpster for us for hauling off. So it'll be a good project. We can see the current system, just watching the water flow through the process. You can see there's a lot of carryover current grit right now, and it's just not a very efficient process. This will help also downstream, like the headworks. It's kind of step 2 in the whole treatment process, and it's going to just help all those future other improvements coming down the road. Plus, the new BNR system that we built, just maintain those equipment, for the life of the plant. So sludge dewatering improvements. This project's in design right now. This will actually look at putting, this is just starting final design. We're putting new centrifuges in for dewatering. I don't know how, before me, I think it was 2018, there was a screw press project that didn't meet performance, so this is kind of the wrap up of that project. So this will replace some equipment in there with new centrifuges. MSD's got a few we looked at. City of Fulton's got one we went and looked at. Jeff C just puts new ones in that we looked at. Very efficient process, very contained process. So it'll be a kind of a good project to clean up that kind of project that wasn't finished before. So it didn't meet the performance. So, but that's again kind of why the first step was the headworks and the grit to kind of prepare for these centrifuges, you know, so that you're not sending that kind of material that's going to damage that equipment, you know, long-term, you know, operation of it and cause issues down the road. So this is called I mean, the picture looks a little grainy. It's called a LiDAR scan of the building, where the consultant came in and did what they call LiDAR radar scan. So kind of new technology for surveying, whether it's sewer lines or buildings or whatever. So this is, and then they just kind of draw over top of that. And this is just kind of a preliminary sketch of some equipment layout that what we were looking at. So excuse me. Another one we're getting ready to put an RFP out on is this BNR tank safety rails and ladders. Working with Donahue on that to get an RFP put together to be able to, again, we have a lot of aeration diffusers and equipment in that tank that right now the access is pretty poor. You got to drag a ladder up there, got to climb over the handrail to get on the ladder to go down into the tank, and it's not very safe. So this is just a kind of a follow-up to that BNR tank project to make it easy for those guys and safe to get in and out of that tank to maintain that equipment. So we've talked to some vendors, got some ideas, and now we're at the stage of getting an RFP put together, put out on the street to get it bid out and get that project under the works. So that should be going out, I'd say, in the next month or two. They were actually out today to look at some conduit locations, make sure they didn't, if they got to avoid them or whatever. Odor control, another design project in the works right now. We just went through a 60% review meeting with the consultant. This will replace that carbon scrubber that's treating the odors off the current headworks. It's also connected to the new headworks now, and it's also treating the odors off the WAS tank, which is that lower domed tank in the picture there. And it's became a highly expensive process to run that carbon, because I've had to replace it about every 2 years. It probably needs to be replaced probably every year, but we've been replacing every 2 years since I've been here in 2020. And it's ranged from early on like 50,000 a year to 50,000 to replace it, up to over 120,000. So just, I think COVID hit, you know, and caused that price increase and for a while, and supply issues, and so it's a very fluctuating cost, and it's expensive. So we're looking to do what they call a bioair system, or biological treatment system, that where you actually grow a biological material on some media that treats the odors, and it's, you don't have to worry about replacing carbon every couple of years or so. So that one, again, is just about the 90% design. I think they're getting close. And then we got a kind of a phase project here. This is our wastewater plant improvements. This is just looking at our clarifiers. We in the past, we've rebuilt them every couple of years, went in and kind of did some preventive maintenance and rebuilt some of the drives and stuff. But this is actually, they've been done that multiple times. So this is actually going to go in and actually replace a lot of this equipment to a newer style equipment. And the plan is to do one every 2 years, so we don't, you know, have to spend multi-million dollars, you know, on day one and have them all the same age. So this would be kind of good to phase them in so they're not all at life, you know, in 20 years from now or whatever, and need to be replaced again. So this is kind of a good phase project that will look at primary clarifier number 4 is our first one we're going to hit. That one, they went in and did a structural assessment of the tank, and then we got a plan together. We went and actually looked at Duckett Creek's got these, some newer, the scum removal system on them is not very efficient. So the Duckett Creek's got the kind of a dual dipping scum system that on theirs that'll help us, remove our scum off of our clarifiers. They're not terrible, but it's just a lot better system than what we currently have, newer system, and like I said, ours is a lot of wear parts that we have to constantly replace. I know. Again, this would be a lot newer style system and better for the. And then the plan is, like I said, once we do this one, then we have 8 total clarifiers, 4 primaries, 4 finals, and just try and hit one every year and have kind of a set of bid documents that we can kind of repurpose for those future bids. So. Let's see, the Peru Creek lift station basin upgrade. This one's been kind of long, drug it out a little bit, but we're getting close now. We've got a change order put together with the contractor that we had to add a few things for DNR for some heads, like a head wall at the pipe, where it goes in the lagoon. Some minor details there, and so that we got that cleaned up in the scope for the contract with a recent change order. And we've also added the rest of the asphalt paving. So they were paving already part of this roadway. So we're actually going to be paving most of that roadway around that lagoon for their access for the trucks. I know Salt Streets use it for the salt storage down there and stuff. And they've paved part of it over by their salt dome, and they're putting their new concrete truck system silos down there. So this will make it a very good access for that, especially during winter times and stuff. So we just kind of cleaned up that scope here recently, and contractor is, I think there's a diesel powered pump that's part of that they got to order, that'll be coming in. That's a kind of a lead time issue that we're working with them on. They're just waiting on, I guess, that to show up. I can't remember what the lead time is on it, but it was weeks, so once they get that in, they're still shooting to get this paved out before the asphalt plants close this year and project done, but it might, if they don't get it done, we did give them a little bit extra time just to get in next spring to do the paving, if they didn't get finished up this year, but they're shooting to try and get it done before the plants close. So, and another project down there at the Peru Creek lift station that's out on the street right now, is this wet well lining of that lift station. We did West Lift Station, which is one of our other main lift stations in our system a few years ago. So this is the Peru lift station out there at the lagoon site, and this will just protect the concrete long term of that, just because it's a corrosive environment for that wastewater coming in there, and there's a lot of odor, hydrogen sulfide in the air, and just it takes its toll on that concrete. So this just helps prolong the life of the lift station. And then a couple smaller ones. This is just kind of over. It was one we started, I think last year, is lift station upgrades. It's just kind of some improvements that we know we need at a couple of different ones. The east lift station mainly is the first one. We've got some sluice gates for the bypass channel that are stuck that need to be replaced. So they're putting a design for that to get those replaced, as well as doing assessment of there's a stairwell system that goes down into the wet well that's getting corroded with some of the hydrogen sulfide gas and stuff. So we just want to do a structural assessment of that, make sure there's no damage or issues to that stairwell, so we know we got a safe structure. And kind of same thing at the Peru lift station. There were some actuators that are down inside the lift station that weren't working, so we're actually want to move the controls, the motors up to the top out of that environment, and then do a structural assessment of that stairwell and interior as well. So, and then a couple sewer improvement projects. There's 3 of them basically. Country Life Relief Sewer. This one's, they're in design. They got geotech done here a few months ago, I think. So they should be getting close to wrapping their design up and getting these out on the street in the next month or so, I'd say. But it's Country Life Relief Sewer. This and Steve knows more about these. So if you have any questions, I'll defer to him. But then Barrington Relief Sewer, and then the Kellerman flow meter study was part of this. flow meter down there by the Pruk lift station. That picks up a really small flow as part of the Public Water Supply District 2 billings that from the flow they send us, and I feel like it was just kind of a added flow meters were added over time just to make things work, but kind of a study to look at that system and if we can simplify it, whether we remove that flow meter and reroute that a little bit of flow that's coming in through it straight to the lift station, and if there's a better way to do that and basically eliminate the flow meter, because that flow meter did have issues last year that we had to repair it. So again, just trying to look at it from a high level and see if there's a better way to do that District 2 calculation in the billing without it, or if there's a better spot for that. So and then the North Lift Station upgrade, this is really early in design too. We're working with GBA on the scope on that still. But that lift station, this is the one actually inside the wastewater plant on the south end of the plant, but we call it the North Lift Station because it's north end of town. But it feeds one of the lift stations that feeds the wastewater plant. It was built originally with the original plant from 1970, and just it's got valve issues, pump issues. So we're just looking to either rebuild it or replace it. You know, we're going to do assessment of that station, see what it needs, and then go from there. So, but it's the other thing to this one that's kind of driving as well as that new police facility will be sending its flow to the station. So we just want to make sure we have a reliable station to be able to transfer that flow to the plant. So, and I think that was it. Yep.
All right.
Fire away.
Who's got questions? Okay, well, I'm thinking back on the water.
Okay.
A few years ago, we had discussions of a new water tower.
Yeah, that's still in the works. I don't have it on here. It's so it got kind of on hold for developer issues. The developer sold the development or changed hands. I don't know, and it got put on the back burner because that developer was just going to sit on it. I'll let Steve talk because he knows more about the history of that.
But so a new developer did pick up the project, and we did get the land for the water tower. But the major problem right now is funding for it. So when we first proposed that, it was before all the inflation and construction costs hit. So there was a period there a few years back that within a year or two, construction prices went up 40%, and that really put a hurt on our CIP. And then we also had an engineer that had done the study on that did the initial estimate on that. He grossly underestimated the cost of the project by about another 15-20%. So by the time all that happened and we got the real costs that we're planning for, there wasn't enough money in the budget for it. So it's out a few years as far as trying to get it funded, but it is a priority. We just don't have the funds right now.
I'm worried that we've potentially got development that isn't happening because of the lack of it. And I don't know if I'm just speculating, but
So the real difference there is the development can still happen, but what it means is that they're going to have to do pumping up the pressure themselves. So like the apartments that are going in there's a hotel going in there, they're all going to have a pump room and have to pump up the pressure to get up to their top floors. So it's costing them more money, but they're still here doing their development.
Okay. All right. Other questions? We're actually in the presentation. In the back of my head is cost of some of this is got to be a lot. And
Yeah, we just put this in was it the strategic plan or something like, there's like 55 million going on right now between public work, was it 55 million?
Yeah, that sounds right, but then you just bid out some more stuff, so I think we're adding to that. But and that's just with Public Works. Then you add in what the engineering group is doing with their the police facility project that came in, I think, at $23 million, plus all the road projects. I mean, the amount of work that the city is doing right now is just amazing. It's certainly making for busy times around here, and it should really improve things when we get done with all this.
okay.
And I mean, I follow that with, there's a lot of good projects. I mean, that BNR tank really helped, I mean, the treatment at the, wastewater plant, treatment-wise, odor-wise, everything. I mean, we've made some huge leaps and bounds since I first started here in 2020, with that project and others we've got going on out there. This headworks will be another huge improvement to that process, treatment out there. We've got a target of 2020 or 2033 for phosphorus removal for the plant from DNR, so we'll be having another project coming in the pipeline soon for work on it. The water plant is 20-some years old now, and a lot of its stuff's aged out, so that's that $10 million project that we're just now starting. That's a huge, improvement to that plant to get it where it needs to be. The new Wallua well to get the more water in the door, to be able to treat the water to get it to town. The wells 3 and 4 chemical upgrades, that'll be a huge improvement just to consistently have that like water in the system that's going to eliminate, I think, every once in a while, like hot summers, we'll get some taste and odor issues because we're feeding those two systems and mixing it. So I think that'll eliminate a lot of those in certain areas. So down the line, we have well 6 will still be is an older style well that'll need an upgrade in the near future. Well 7 we want to add. It doesn't have any softening right now. At its site, it's just a well with disinfection. We want to add softening to it, and that's another source of water that we can then rely on. We pretty much try not to use that well right now, just because we know it's going to create a complaint, because it'll mix in the water, and then somebody will, say they're getting a rash or something because they'll notice a difference in their water. But there's a lot going on now, a lot coming in on the road, and it's pretty exciting times right now with us. So.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? All right. Thanks, Sean.
All right. Well, hopefully I did a good job for you guys.
You did a good job.
Sorry, it's the only thing on the agenda tonight, but.
All right, move on to acceptance of the monthly reports for the Public Works and Engineering for the month of June. Can I get a motion for approval?
Move to approve.
A second?
Second.
Dave, all those in favor? Any opposed? All right, future agenda items. I know there's a heavy desire with this committee to, we have multiple things on a given night unless we've got something that's going to run us really long. Just moving forward, it looks like we could fill September with a ton of stuff with what's here. At least if it's October and November, we probably can finish out the year almost with what we've got here. I think it was discussed about doing a tour of the recycle facility in St. Peter's. That's definitely something we mentioned a few months ago, I know. And then definitely want to follow up on that when that is available and online and running. I would love to see what's going on there, what's really happening with that, with the single stream recycling. I know we had a lot of questions on that topic when that came about. I'm sure we would have a lot more follow-ons after a tour of that process.
Do you want me to talk about it now, or do you want me to wait until my report later on?
Talk about it now.
So it's set up for September 23rd.
Okay.
It's a Tuesday at 1 o'clock. I didn't know who could make it. I didn't know who wanted to make it. So if you let me know if you want to attend, and then I will forward you the invite. You can let me know tonight, or give me a call, or send me an email.
Yeah, Julie, can you just send something out to us all to get it in our? So I got to look at a calendar.
And I knew Wendy wanted to go, so I already forwarded it to her.
Okay. Wendy's there.
What was the time, Steve?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock?
Yeah.
After today at work, I might be available too without having to look at a calendar. Okay, and then, anybody else have anything they want to add to the list? Wendy?
When the time comes, I wouldn't mind having a tour of the police training facility.
Yeah. I think we're a good ways out from that. Right now, you could go out there and see a shooting range. You could drive by and see what's kind of there now. But yeah, coming with the city council last Thursday awarded a contract for the next phase of that.
Be something in the future.
Absolutely. absolutely. And then even getting back and making Sean show us the upgrades that are going on at the Headworks building, as much as we all love Headworks. For those of you that have not been to the plant and not experienced that wonderfulness, that is one heck of an experience. I'll leave it at that. I'm excited about that, though. I think we're going to see some big time help to our overall system with a different screening processor. Okay, anything else to add in? All right, with that, we'll move on to closing comments. I'm going to start down with Chad.
Well, thanks for the presentation, Sean. That's all I really have. There's not a whole lot tonight.
All right, George,
John, thanks a lot. Very interesting.
Mary,
Sean, you had your 15 minutes of fame all by yourself. Thanks, hon.
Dave.
Actually, it's pushing about half an hour.
I know.
Actually. So more than that 15 minutes. But no, I just thanks. There's nothing. Well, maybe not. But there's not a whole lot more important than water and then what we do with our sewage and stuff. So seeing all these processes get improved and be good for the future is cool to see. So keep it up and look forward to seeing everything done.
All right, Bill,
Good updates on water and sewer. Thanks, Sean.
Greg,
Sean, on top of it as always. You stole the show.
Scott.
Thank you, Sean, and well done presentation on PowerPoint or whatever software was done there. Nice job.
Wendy.
Thank you, Sean, for your wonderful presentation. I know you spend a lot of time on this, and we truly appreciate it. And when you hear so many other cities having issues with their water and sewer, I think we all should be very thankful for what O'Fallon has. Thank you, Sean.
Yep. And Sean, I'll just inflate your ego more and echo everybody's. You can't even see you back there, but good job tonight. Councilman Wexler.
Just like they said, thanks, Sean. I just love seeing all the projects going on. Love seeing O'Fallon getting continuing to be better. So leading the way. Good job, guys.
Do we have any Director of Engineering comments tonight? Seeing none, we'll go on to Mr. Bender.
Yeah, I didn't get anything from Wade, so. But I just wanted to give a little update on the Public Works facility. Now, next meeting, we'll plan on doing a formal presentation because we skipped it this meeting. Get you some pictures and some a more formal update. But what's going on out there is that on the Public Works building side of things, we've poured half of the concrete slab for the flooring out there. On Friday, they're going to do another floor slab pour, and then next week they'll finish up the floor slab in the Public Works building. Also next week, we should be getting the first steel deliveries for the structural parts of the buildings. And then as soon as that comes in, they'll start erecting the steel. On the fleet side, most of the perimeter foundations are done. And then a lot of the interior foundations are done. So a majority of the foundations on the fleet building are done. And once they are done with those foundations, they'll go immediately into pouring the slabs there and then erecting the steel there. So that's what's going on there. So in September, I hope to have some really good pictures of all that.
Good. That's it? All right. With that, 39 minutes. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Got a motion and a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, everyone. Yeah, I know, right? I just about said.